Hey everyone, my name is Corey Cave, and today I will be revealing the designs and setup for a store of the brand I chose, H&M. Visual merchandising is a creative and aesthetic work that requires a cunning mix of psychology research and sales techniques. This project provided me with the opportunity to conceptually create a retail store based on the design elements and principles, as well as display techniques. I found this project very intuitive, and I am very excited to show you all what I came up with. About the brand. H&M is a Swedish international clothing retail company known for its fast fashion clothing for men, women, teenagers, and children. H&M's official brand statement is as follows. We are a family of brands driven by our desire to make great design available to everyone in a sustainable way. Together, we offer fashion, design, and services that enable people to be inspired and to express their own personal style, making it easier to live in a more circular way. According to H&M Group's Q4 report, as of November 2019, H&M operates in 74 countries with over 5,000 stores under the various company brands, with 126,000 full-time equivalent positions. It is the second largest global clothing retailer, only behind Spain-based Inditex, who is the parent company of Zara. According to Alina Neep of Edusaurus, H&M's primary audience is women between the age of 20 and 34. Who are on the market for a trendy fashion at a low price. These women are up-to-date, trendy, and fashionable consumers. All right, here's the slide on my inspiration for my design of the store. Untitled number 15 was created by Jackson Pollock in 1947. According to an excerpt provided by the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts in Richmond, in late 1947, rather than using brushes and an easel, Pollock began pouring and dripping paint onto canvases placed on the floor. This was his artistic breakthrough." End quote. Jackson used his creations to express freedom. I think that's why he created this one. He created it because he wanted to, and he was going to do it simply just because. To me, that level of not a care in the world is something I strive to have. Pollock's attitude may have stemmed from World War II ending and the United States feeling victorious. This pleasure of victory was sweet to the taste for the people of the United States during this time. This superiority attitude may have influenced Pollock to have this carefree attitude toward life and his art. This is something I strive to do and something that I would strive for in a shop space. I came across this painting in the collection of photos from that day, and it stuck out to me. Initially, it reminded me of the inside of the store I chose. Then I thought to myself, why? I've concluded that it reminded me of the inside of an H&M because the bursts of color and lines come from a uniform blank slate. In this case, black. Like how a store looks like. Most of the stores I've been in have a base color of white in their stores. White ceilings, walls, counters, frames, doors. They usually have a floor that is in complete contrast, typically brown or black carpet and or painted concrete slabs. Not only this, but a lot of the clothes seem to be neutral colors, or, if they are colorful, tonal, which is a color mixed with gray. Sometimes through the racks and displays, we would find very colorful pieces of clothing or accessory. This adds in the burst of bright color seen in the painting. I believe I could use this appeal to my advantage when designing my aesthetic for an H&M shop. My vision for this shop is to create a nostalgic atmosphere for my customers, all the while living up to H&M's statement on trends, fresh takes, and designs. By decorating the shop with aesthetically pleasing retro portraits and props, I can create an emotional experience using the nostalgia and beauty of a bygone era, all the while selling merchandise and products that embrace the future. H&M's target consumers are between the ages of 20 and 34. However, by designing the store in a way that still promotes the latest in fashions and trends, I can create this atmosphere of nostalgia and excitement for someone new at the same time for everyone. For interactive elements, I will be setting up the store with some retrospective furniture. Space chairs, retro diner bar stools, mid-century modern couches, atomic clocks, and television stands being used as display stands. These furniture items will be used for lounging, in front of the dressing room area, as well as throughout the store to give the store more of a homey feel. All the while using their retro and aesthetic looks to provide the ambiance that I am looking for. I will also be utilizing QR code stands near displays. If a customer wishes to find where the items on a mannequin are in the store, they can use the QR code and simply use their phone to scan the QR code. A map will display pointing to where the item is. The QR codes are also great for promotions for any hidden sales and discounts. Creating this atmosphere of both nostalgia and excitement for the future embraces the idea that sometimes old is not always outdated. The same can be said when people feel like, quote unquote, they are getting old. I want my customers to feel like they too can be just as fashionable and trendy and not have to necessarily embrace the latest of the latest just to fit in. Creating this atmosphere can also promote H&M's initiative for sustainable clothing as we face the issue of climate change. Reducing, reusing, and recycling products is our way of embracing the future. All right, here's my promotional window display that I came up with. This display idea made the cut as my top choice for the promotional window display of my shop. This display uses surrealism, color, and props to promote the brand. The colors refer to the color scheme of the Pollock painting, which I am using for inspiration. The prop featured in this display is the statue of a Doberman dog holding the matching heels to the outfit found on the mannequin. As you can see, the outfit coordination on the mannequin also complements the aesthetic of the Pollock painting. Overall, the surrealistic approach puts this whole display together in an eye-catching, aesthetically pleasing attention grab. The display and techniques featured can inspire the consumer to be motivated by the inspiration of a nostalgic piece of art, as well as a call to throwback and sustainable fashion. The consumer can feel motivated by the trendiness of nostalgic culture. The brand strives for excellence in fashion and design. The inspiration brought on by the Pollock painting is set to now inspire the clientele of this H&M shop to embrace a new wave of fashion, all the while embracing a reasonably priced and sustainable product line. My layout. My idea for the store layout was inspired by the layouts of store units in a mall. In visiting the stores in the closest mall to where I live, like American Eagle and Route 21, I took note of where certain areas were in the store. Placements at the checkout counters and the clearance area in my layout were inspired by these visits. I also incorporated some of my own ideas into this design as well. Ideas such as the placement of departments, focal points, and merchandise fixtures in those departments. I also thought it would be nice to have plenty of empty floor space to avoid crowding and clutter. This allows for more merchandise to be placed on wall displays and tables rather than aisles and racks in the middle of the floor. The only exception of this rule would be the clearance area. This floor space also allows for the conceptual furniture to be placed for interaction with customers. One of the main elements for this project was cross-merchandising. I ended up incorporating most of this element in the design and setup of my floor fixtures. More specifically, I incorporated outfit coordination into my fixtures as I thought this would be the best way to execute cross-merchandising. For example, this arrangement would be perfect for showcasing autumn and/or winter wear in the men's section. Both sweaters and both cargo pants on display could be interchanged in an outfit and still match. Along with the T-stands, I incorporated cross-merchandising on my quad racks as well through outfit coordination. This is a great way to use different merchandise to create an outfit a shopper can see themselves wearing. Customers also love variety, and the quad racks can execute that visual perfectly. Cross-merchandising does not always have to be outfit coordination. It can be random too. For example, here I have a round rack full of slim-fit t-shirts with a pair of black boots randomly placed on top of the rack. The sheer randomness of finding a pair of boots where there are t-shirts displays catches the shopper's attention. I believe this is the best way to sell an item. Purposely placing a random item in a spot where it would be noticed for its out-of-placeness. Attracting the attention of the shopper will then motivate them to examine the item. If they like them, then they buy them, in theory, of course. Table fixtures are a great way to showcase certain items. Items on sale, items in season, overstock, etc. In this case, I took various printed cotton t-shirts with eye-catching designs for this display. This would be a table I would put in front of a department it is in this case the men's section. It is simple yet effective in showcasing in-season merchandise. I also really like a good t-shirt rack. These two-tier tables are also a great way to display in-season items, outfit coordination, and line of goods merchandise. For this table, I used the line of goods display method to showcase a various assortment of in-season items, in this case, summer footwear. You'll also notice that throughout these fixture slides, I incorporated real H&M products along with their real current prices. These are the products you would expect to find in my shop, as I would most likely be considered a franchisee for H&M if they did indeed do independent franchising. Focal point displays. Focal point displays are crucial pieces of visual merchandising. Of the dozens of different focal point ideas I came across, pictured are examples of what I would want to put together in my shop. The first display on the left would be a perfect fit for a central floor focal point. Also, the aesthetic of black mannequins would match the store's aesthetic perfectly. The second display design would be ideal for a back or side wall focal point. I would utilize the concept of a bold single command to grab the attention of the shopper. The final display is one that, frankly, is just fun. That odd concept is so attention-grabbing that you don't have to do much for it to achieve what you want. And what you want is attention-seeking. Props. My shop will feature some retro props, from mid-century modern furniture to space chairs to portraits of famous mid-century models such as Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe. As stated in my concept theme display slide, I will be placing the furniture in places where sitting would be most suitable, such as in front of the dressing rooms and in the floor spaces I specifically left for the placement of furniture. I will be scattering the small props like the telephone and the die-cast retro cars throughout the building, but only as eye-catching pieces toward products. Lastly, I will be updating and refurbishing the cabinets and Doberman statues by painting them all black or white with the aesthetic red, blue, yellow spots to coincide with the inspirational art piece and central theme of the store. I will be placing the Doberman statues at the checkout counters. All right, the priority wall. This is my design for my priority wall. This wall display would either be in the very, very back of the store or over on the side in the shopper's peripheral. In creating this, I incorporated cross-merchandising in this display with the technique of outfit coordination. If executed, I would hang a couple of samples on the hooks while stacking the stock, including all the different sizes on the lower shelves. With this display, I had to use a graphic of James Dean for the retro aesthetic of the men's section. The different shades of the James Dean graphic calls back to the original inspirational art, the Pollock painting that was the basis for the concept of this shop. I worked really hard on that one. Finally, I have made signage for my shop. As it is an H&M shop, I had to include the brand logo and hours of operation that match with most H&M stores I found listed online. The main signs I wish to point out are the signage for the men's section and the women's section. As stated previously, I wanted to incorporate mid-century models like James Dean and Audrey Hepburn. This was to embrace the nostalgia of the aesthetic. For the clearance signage, I used a modern H&M model to emphasize that we are still embracing the future with this store. I think the simplicity and conciseness of this signage allows for shoppers to know exactly where they are. All right, and that was my presentation for the Capstone project. I hope you all learned a thing or two, and I hope to see what everybody else made. Thank you. Bye-bye.